Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. The Emir of Kano's saga has become more confusing in the last few hours, with conflicting orders issued by the Kano State High Court and the Federal High Court. The Kano High Court has granted an order restraining the Department of State Services, the police and the army from evicting the reinstated Emir, Muhammadu Sanusi II. Well, the court also restrained the security agencies from harassing or arresting Sanusi and his kingmakers. And this followed a suit filed by the reinstated Emir alongside the 4 kingmakers of the Kano Emirate. In a significant twist, however, a federal high court granted a counter order directing that Emir Sanusi be evicted from the palace, while the court also ordered the police to ensure all rights and privileges due to the 15th Emir of Kano, Aminu Bayero, be given to him. While the court said the ex parte order was made in the interest of justice and maintaining peace in Kano. The suit was adjourned to June 4 for hearing.
Well, for more on these conflicting court orders, we're joined now by Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Adeboro Adamson. Good to see you, and thanks for your time. With that smile, I just really wish that it's so easy for everybody to understand this. It's been going back and forth like a yo-yo, and here we are at this moment. What's the reading for legal minds like you on this Kano Emirate debacle?
It's very unfortunate, I must be sincere with you. From the onset. I have termed it political, royal, judicial war in Kano. That's the way I termed it, because let's go back to the beginning of the show. Yeah. The law had been passed, and the law has been implemented. Now, a federal high court came up to say, by virtue of an interim order, don't do what has been done. I'm saying this because when you grant an order, agree that it's valid. Whether you have jurisdiction or you don't have jurisdiction, it's set aside. That's the law. But for the affected party to be bound by that order, you must have them. The question you ask yourself is this: was the governor of Kano served, properly served? Was the emir, the installed emir, served? And all the affected party, were they served before the enthronement? If this was not done, then it means that you got an order and you kept it on your pillow. So it's of no effect. Particularly when the party affected have gone ahead to effect what they wanted to do, and they have completed it. So no order of course will issue to restrain a completed act. So in this instance, as far as I'm concerned, it's a completed act. Now let's leave that at that level. The question now is this: if my Lord Justice Lima had granted an order, like I said, whether valid or invalid, the law says respect it first. You don't like obey before you complain. Now, but if you have grievance in party, what you need to do is to go back to the court to challenge the validity of the order and challenge the duration of the court. And you have to go through the whole hog. So the option is this: it's either the Federal High Court decline jurisdiction to say, oh, I don't have jurisdiction, I wash my hands off like a pilot. Now, after doing that, you can now go and institute another action in any other court that has jurisdiction. Now, sir, as it were, the court that sees of this matter is the Federal High Court in Kano, presided over by Honorable Justice Lima. It has granted that interim order. Mind you, it will only last for 7 days. So while you are filing your interim application, you file along with it a motion or notice for interlocutory injunction, which is what you argue pending. So when the order is granted under interlocutory injunction, That will last when the substantive matter is being handled.
You know, listening to you, sir, it already helps you understand why they say the law is an ass, if I'm permitted to use, you know, that word, because it's like an elephant. It depends on where you're holding that you determine. But can or should a federal high court interfere in the matters of a state, since Nigeria is a federalism?
Clearly,
should that be happening in the first place?
The jurisdiction of federal court is contained under section 251 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And clearly, the issue of chieftaincy, Emir Itozu, is not included. So it has no jurisdiction. That was why I told you that whether you have jurisdiction or you don't have jurisdiction, you have given another. So what you need to do as an affected party is to go back to that court to say, you don't have jurisdiction. So decline jurisdiction here. So if my lord, in his own wisdom, find that it does not have jurisdiction, it will decline. And if it's adamant, the option is for you to go and appeal to stop the whole process.
You know, and as they say it is the law acts on you, or the court acts on your request. So coming to the Lord of Justice in this case, you can't on your own say, well, we can't entertain this. This is beyond us. So why is it that when a chieftaincy matter is taken to a federal high court, you still get to be listened to?
Well, you see, it depends on the way the lawyer who approaches the court couches his order. The orders is paying the court for. I am sure the court must have been deceived by the way the orders were couched. If they were couched for the enforcement of fundamental rights, the court can be misled. Perhaps the court has been thinking that, oh, these people have approached me.
Can you put the blame entirely on the lawyer who may have misled
I'm not saying the process.
Right.
I'm only telling you that perhaps.
But again,
the way it was couched.
On the surface, how do you feel? You sat here and we started with the headline, conflicting orders. How does it feel for a senior lawyer like yourself here in the country when such headlines come before you?
If you listen to me very well, at the beginning I said it is sad. It is bad. You see, but we have the different actions, mechanism in place. Any of the lawyers or the judges involved in this matter that is found to have held will be subjected to disciplinary committee. Then justice is there. And I think last week in the conference, the Honorable CJA mentioned the issue of these conflicting orders of court.
And it's not the first
and any
time.
part, it's not the first time.
He's said it over and over again.
You see,
yeah.
But because the issue is this.
Do you think this is an interference from the political class in the judicial matters?
You see, I will not say that. Judiciary is presumed to be independent. If a judge, you know what you are doing, then you cannot be tossed around. It is when you don't know what you are doing that somebody will be dictating for you. If you know your position and you know what you are given, the powers, the elements of the power you are given under the Constitution, you stand on it. So to me, I'm not here to blame anybody, but I can tell you for sure, the appropriate action will be meted out on the culprits.
You think that will be done?
Now let's even because look at, in this matter, this particular matter, left for me, you allow the federal court, even though they are progressing in error, you take the full course of the action there, or the party will maintain status quo.
And status quo would be what in this?
The Emirates has been sworn in.
Right.
The law has been repealed. That is what is status quo now. Now for a court to now be saying vacate or remove Emir Sanusi, to me it's an aberration. How can you do that? When, you see, for you to even do that, if you want the Emir Sanusi to leave power now, the entire court processes will go along to the conclusion.
Right. And
it's right to be determined whether he has the right to be enthroned back or not. It will be argued left and right. And the court will come to a conclusion. So that has not been done. You cannot at the stage of interim order asking a sitting Emir to vacate.
Very quickly, before we let you go, a lot has been said about the need to insulate the traditional institutions from politics and maybe from the judiciary. But what's the role of the judiciary in upholding the rights of the traditional institutions? Does it have a role at all to ensure that these kinds of situations don't keep occurring?
See, the democracy we practice is supposed to obey the rule of law. The function of the court of law is to ensure that the right of the citizen in general is protected. The traditional structure in the country is equally protected. It's the function of the judiciary. So that role must be carried out by the judiciary, irrespective of the interference from the political class. In any society, you may have this kind of thing, but it is the judiciary that will stand its ground to say, look, this is our culture, this is our custom. It is recognized in the Constitution. To that extent, it must be protected, it must be preserved. Right. So it's only an independent judiciary that can do that.
And this is where we have to say thank you very much. Adeboro Damson, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, thank you for joining us on Newsnight.